is going on, guys? We're back here with another interview video with Willie Taylor, the founder of Fighting Edge, right here in Titusville, Florida.
The real deal right here.
Yes, sir. So today we're just kind of asking him a little bit of questions to get to know him and ask him about his past and just ask him to tell his story pretty much. So Willie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey, what's going on, Fighting Edge family, friends, and followers? It's me, Coach Taylor here. Man, with these wonderful group of guys, man. You guys are amazing.
Appreciate that.
Well, a little background on me. I was boxing for about 17 years, doing USA boxing. My last thing that I ever did was attempt to make the 2000 Olympics. It is what it is. Working, children, marriage, living the so-called American dream.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. Dealing with Fighting Edge, man. We just try to put our focus back on the community, our fighters, people that want to give but don't know how. So we get people plugged back into giving. So that's just a little synopsis, but it goes much deeper than how it started.
Of course.
But that's about it.
So how did it start? And as you asked that, I would like to know one of the biggest challenges you've overcome thus far. Let's hear about that.
All right, well, we started Fighting Edge. I was out of boxing for about 6-7 years due to injuries and health-wise. A couple of upcoming MMA fighters in town asked me to coach them and train them for a fight. And because a lot of promotions don't like to get people that are freelance fighters. They want you affiliated with a gym, to kind of hold you accountable.
Yeah.
So I agreed to it. We were training at Parish Health and Fitness, local, gym spa here in Titusville.
Yeah, I've been there.
So they seen the crowd of people that followed us that joined us from inside their own gym. So we had about 30 people that stopped their workouts and just wanted to work out with me and my guys. So we covered full rooms, and they wanted me to start charging people so that they can get a cut of the money and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't charging anybody, and it's free. What we do is free. So I told them, no, I'm not going to charge anybody anything. God never put that on my heart to charge anybody or to use this for money. He says, as I've given it to you, you give it. Long story short, we got kicked out of there. But before then, we wound up having a back to school drive. We did a couple of neighborhood cleanups. I'm like, we're doing something together. We might as well do something positive also, since we got some able bodies. It got around town what we were doing. Our county commissioner hit me up and was like, hey, who are you guys? What are you doing? I heard Fighting Edge. I heard your name around. He asked us, he's like, is there anything that the city of Titusville can do? I said, well, now that you mention it, yes, it is.
Yes, there
because
is.
we just got kicked out of this place. And I was like, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do now, with the people that have this dream at hand. So God sent it. Maybe he kicked us out of there. Maybe God had a hand in kicking us out to move us into something better. Mm-hmm. I tell him that we got kicked out. He says, give me a minute. He calls up a couple of people and he says, meet me at Gibson Center. I go to Gibson Center. He throws me a set of keys. He says, this is your building. I said,
damn.
what?
What?
Now this is
Heard it, man.
So this is the crazy part. Where we're at the Gibson Center is actually the first place I started boxing. So it kind of did a full cycle, full turnaround. I was a student, I was a fighter there, and now I am a coach. I have about 20 young men that train and about 30 people that just work out. So that's a little bit of how we got started with Fighting Edge. We came up with the name Fighting Edge I was asking, just running names across, what's a catchy name? And one of me and my coworker was actually talking, and she says, well, what's your focus? I said, well, always my focus is the community, our young men. And, it is what it is. We have a big problem in our African-American community, and our young men are killing each other by the numbers. We're getting arrested, just the lifestyle itself. So that was one of my main focuses right there, to change the mindset and hearts. And I was like, our young men need a fighting chance in life, And she says, yeah, they need an edge above the competition when they're going to work and so. And she says, there it is. I said, what? And that's how the name got started right there. So we've been running with it ever since, man. And then just people that come on board with Fighting Edge, we let them know, if it is not from your heart, this may not be the place for you.
Right.
We don't ask a dime for anybody. If you can help and donate, then you help and donate. But don't let money or anything else be a factor of you saying, I don't want to do that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was the major challenge that you've faced thus far in your entire life?
Oh man, the major challenge. Well, just recently, I think one of the major things in my life, besides suffering from depression and just feeling lost, I think the biggest challenge that I had was just recently losing my father. That is the biggest challenge. I literally wanted to just curl up and not do anything anymore. And I see some of the things that goes on in town. It's like, you guys ever feel that I'm doing all I can, but it's not enough of what I'm doing? That is the biggest feeling. That is the biggest challenge that I have inside. And one day I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to just close the doors and just let it be. But before my father died, he says to me, son, if not you, then who? And so that stays with me. And it stops me from
Giving up. First off, I just want to say what you're doing in the community is it's amazing. The fact that you brought together these people who otherwise would, be getting arrested or just doing stuff that's not really towards their potential in life.
Mm-hmm.
And you got them focused on the dream, and that's a big thing for me. I love that. But I also want to ask you said you were suffering from depression, and I want to ask, how do you overcome doubts and insecurities and anxiety when these things just constantly pop up in your head, am I doing this right? Why am I doing this? Am I qualified for this? How do you overcome these things and just keep moving forward? Because I struggle with that kind of stuff a lot.
Well, I feel whenever we're all going to have problems. We're all going to have doubts in our life. We're all going to have depressing moments in our lives. But I got a wife, and she is a mighty woman, and she reminds me constantly. And we go into scripture, we go into the word, and there's times that I doubt myself, and I'm like, I don't know if I should even be doing this. I don't know a lot of things. But then she always tells me, she says, baby, it is not who you are, it's whose you are. Know who you are. Know who God called you to be. Know the man that you are. You are nothing but a leader. You are nothing but a prince. You are nothing but a king. And she lifts me up. And I tell you, she's just been such a blessing. I have the background of my father and my mother, and they're just their upbringing, which pulls you through a lot of things.
Yeah.
Then you surround yourself with people, like-minded people. Mm-hmm. People always say you hang around non-broke people, you're gonna be the 10th.
Exactly. Yeah.
Facts.
So with challenges comes success and achievement. So my question is, what's your biggest achievement, whether it be boxing or in life?
My personal achievement, which I don't know if you really want to call it achievement, but my children and my wife's children. I've been blessed by them so much. They're such a blessing. As hard as it is, but at the end, you see the growth in them.
Yeah.
You see them becoming these young adults, and it is just such a blessing. That's a great achievement. But from the fighting edge standpoint, we have fighters, we have young men that have come into our program that were incarcerated, people that are lost, people that were homeless, people that are without jobs, people that have lost hope. And I have seen these people's lives change, and it has changed, and they are living. They're not just being alive, they are living. Right now, one of our young men,
Robert Brothers. He was the fighter that was out here, the big guy. All right. He did a 15-year ride, man. And since he got out of prison, he's been with me. Now, from this man literally, how sometimes you can do a ride or do a crime, right? And then you don't only just get one sentence. You do that sentence in prison. And then when you come out, that's a whole nother sentence, because nobody wants to help you. Nobody wants to do anything for you or give you a chance because they're afraid, This man now has made such an impact on people, and to show that he is a changed man, not only because of fighting edge, because of who he has become since he's been here with us. This man can literally call up our mayor and just go hang out with the mayor, the chief of police, and these people respect him as a man. But he's now going pro in 2 months in September. Yeah, he goes pro in September as a fighter. So that's our first in-house pro fighter that we're having. So that right there is one of the biggest success. They impact me as much as I give. They bless me back, and they give me hope. They give me vision. They give me dreams, So it's like whenever you find yourself tired, whenever you find yourself like, why am I doing this? That right there, and people come back to you and say, hey, coach, just thank you. Last year we got to assist six people locating jobs. We helped out one young lady. Now she is no longer homeless. She has a job. She's working. And these are things that we got to do because we have built relationship with people in the community. And they say, do you have anybody that needs help with anything? And I'm talking about from the sheriff's department, from TPD, the city. And so I'll tell them yes, or I'll ask them, do you have a job available? Give this person an interview. Help them out. And they give us that respect to do that.
I mean, that's amazing. What you were saying about how you impact, or how you just watched this Robert Brothers, right? How you watched him like change as a man it's impressive to me, because I want to impact people like you do. I want to change somebody's life for the better, like make them reach their potential. Bring them up to the top and let them like achieve what they were meant to achieve. In God's plan and all that. I just wanted to say that, because I mean. It's amazing what you do, because the fact that you're changing these people's lives is literally what I want to do, whether it's with this channel or anything else that I do in life. I want to impact people. I don't want to just sit on the sidelines and just go through life without making a difference.
We want to make a mark on this world together as a team, as a community. That's what we want to build. Thank you for being part of With Honesty and Truth. Come on, round of applause for him. Like, come on. Like, for real, man. Like, I've seen this man actually go out and actually help create an event where he helps people, helps kids in need. I want to be a part of that. Anytime you ever need us, like, we're there. We're there. Like, I'm there with you. You know what I'm saying? So my next question is, what is your purpose?
A lot of people go through life wondering what is their purpose in life. Ultimately, a person can go through life and have, I don't want to say it's greed, but they want material things, but it always leaves a emptiness once they achieve that, once they get that, once they gather that. You can help as many people as you want to in life, and you will still feel empty. No matter who you help, no matter what you do, you would feel empty. My purpose is solely to please the Father and to help the kingdom grow, to bring people to Christ. I know it's not a most popular thing with people and things like that, how things are going in this country and even worldwide. But to lead people back to Christ, to be an example, that is my purpose. We are all called to do that. We are all called to do it, but only a handful or very few will answer that calling. So if people go through life and they go through searching, they search, and always they think they'll find happiness, and it's only for a moment. And then it's back down to the same thing. So when you find true happiness, and that's why I say, when you know who you are and whose you are, you will find that eternal happiness, that inner peace, that you're able to wake up and just be like, you know what? My day may suck. Everybody goes through it. But I am a blessed and happy man because of what I am and who I am.
Yeah, I read Tim Tebow's book. I don't know if you read it. I think it was I read both his books, Shaken, and then it was This Is the Day. And that's... Yeah, I love those books, yeah. And it's a big thing that he talks about is find whose you are. Like, don't worry about who you are, find whose you are, and then you'll find yourself in that,
So, me personally, I don't know my purpose, right? And I feel like with this channel and interviewing and talking to people and getting to know them and their backstory, knowing what their purpose is eye-opening to me, because I feel like with that knowledge, with that insight of everyone around me, I can figure out what my next step is and where I'm going to go from here and with what. So my question is, what's next for you?
Well, eventually, I'm not going to be doing the boxing thing anymore. Eventually, I'm not going to be doing the coaching anymore and things like that because it's a season. It's a season in your life. So what we do, every one of our fighters, every one of our young men or even young women that step foot into our gym, we're not training athletes. We're training leaders. So every one of them will eventually be coaching or owning a fighting edge or doing something of the sort. That's the way I can step back. You can take this your own, open up something else somewhere else, and bless somebody else. That is my next thing. I just got my officials certificate, so now I'm a USA boxing official, which is awesome. And it took me a long time to do that, but eventually I want to step back. I'm going to step back and let my children take this over and run this, so I can open up another one and then raise my children and send them out again with the same heart and mindset of what we do to make an impact in our community. So that is the future that's my future, unless God tells me something different. It's funny how you can have your plan, your steps, but boy, gotta turn that in a minute.
You mentioned your father being a very big impact, and our channel is all about transparency and being honest with everybody so they can look us as an example. If you could tell your dad one thing right now, what would it be?
You were right. No, I tell you what, I miss my dad. I miss him. I cry over him just about daily because we had such a great relationship, and I seen the love that he had for my mother. There ain't much I don't want him back. I know where he's at. I don't want him back. I don't want him back here. He died all of a sudden out of a stroke. He had a stroke and died. My last words, and this is the type of relationship we had, my last conversation with my father, I was walking out of their house, going to a exercise session that I had because I did some volunteer work with the senior citizens. And so I went over there. I was leaving. As I turned the corner, he rounds out. He says, hey, he called me Kuda, which means protector. He says, hey, Coot. I was like, yes, sir. He says, I love you, son, and I'm proud of you. That was the last words I had with my father. For years, my father, I've always wanted to hear, and maybe he knew this, maybe God set that up. I always wanted to hear my father say, I'm proud of you. That was the one thing. I always wanted to hear him say that. All the wrestling matches, all the football games I've had, he was always like, hey, you could have did this better. You could have did that better. But that day, God gave me everything I wanted right then by my father stepping out and telling me, son, I'm proud of you. He told me he was proud of me. That was the best thing that I could ever receive from him. Right there, and just the knowledge of working and being a hard working man and to support and take care of my family, take care of my mother still, So, but as far as wanting to hear or say something back, nah, I'm good. He's so good right now. No burdens, no trouble, no worries. And it wasn't that he was a sick man. He had a stroke. He died at 72 years old, and just a light of the world, man. He was such a upstanding guy. When I tell you his yes was yes, his no was no, he never had uneven scales, meaning he was always fair with every man and always would help anybody that he could. And that's what I try to do, to keep his legacy, to do that.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Willie.
I appreciate y'all. And what you guys did today, what?
Exactly, yo, what? We'll have his links to any kind of social media, any kind of website or anything in the description so you can check Fighting Edge out. Also, don't forget to check out our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We'll start posting regularly so you can get constant content from us.
Any last things you want to say to the people?
Check it out. Fighting Edge motto, guys, in life, don't talk about it, be about it.
Peace out, guys.